Hey everyone, thank you for watching again. Today we're talking about this particular knife. It's a Civivi SOKN, S-O-K-N. It's designed as some sort of EDCable general purpose capable cutter while still giving the user a very personal security friendly experience. And by that I mean that it has been designed with that kind of hook at the back of the grip, which allows for a very definitive drawing motion in a reverse grip. There's also a spot to place the thumb here, and the grip is, as you can see, heeled in the middle, and that of course secures the grip as it fills the palm and gives a more secure and a positive purchase on the grip. Of course, it's more thought out as an edge out kind of grip, but it could be used edge in by hooking the thumb over this handle hook here, and that does secure it as well in a edge in grip. The steel is supposed to be Nitro V, which is quite good. The grip is G10, and as you can see I wrapped it in kind of tennis racket grip, and that is to actually bulge it out a little bit and provide some more 3D texturing and volume, as out of the box the handle scales are very flat. Although they are bulged here in this dimension, they are not like that, so I wrapped it to provide just a little bit of girth in this perspective here, and that does help fill the hand quite a bit more in my opinion, and is quite comfortable. Doesn't hinder the carrying of the blade, as the sheath is actually much thicker than this, so it doesn't augment the profile but still boosts the gripping capabilities, so it's fine by me. Under that is just flat, contoured and rounded out G10. The edge geometry is excellent. It's thought out as a everyday cutter, and it's quite thin, and the Nitro V steel does allow for that. There's a slight sharpening choil here, nothing too drastic. Shouldn't catch too much on fabric or fibrous material. It's not very deep, as you can see. This is a very small blade anyway, so you're not going to be cutting too hard or too large of a material anyway. So as a delicate, practical everyday cutter, it's fine. When it comes to the tip, you can see that it's quite delicate, so you wouldn't want to be prying with this. It's really not meant for that, but it would allow for precision tasks quite readily. I'm not a hunter, but this could actually make a usable, serviceable hunting and fishing knife, in my opinion. The Nitro V steel is perfectly adequate for that, and the very thin cutting geometry would boost its performance. All in all, it's quite a capable blade. It's slicey, it's light, it's not too thick, and it gives a positive grip, whether more for a tactical application or for an everyday food prep or whatever application as well. So the knife, in my opinion, is quite well designed overall. Let's talk about the sheath now. So it's a Kydex sheath, very thick, very well made Kydex in my opinion, taco design, and this weird hook right here, this barb jutting out, and that is actually meant by the designer to catch on the edge of the pocket and retain the sheath in the pocket while you draw the knife for personal security applications. Actually, the knife comes out of the box equipped with this sheath and this pocket clip here, which is usable, but I actually do hate it. and I replaced it immediately with an ulti-clip, as you can see, a very positive click. And you're supposed to mount the pocket clip on the G10 scale here, which allows for a very deep pocket carry. Just the hook is supposed to stick out of the pocket, which allows you to grip it or to pinch it like this and draw the knife while the sheath remains in the pocket by being hooked by this barb here. And that is fine in theory, but doesn't work in reality. First thing, you're going to cut your pocket. That's almost guaranteed. The sheath doesn't actually get out enough of the pocket to hook the edge of the material. It actually hooks right there or right here on this back part of the sheath, which means that when you draw the blade doesn't clear the pocket before edge is exposed, and that will destroy your pants. Second thing, this hook is unreliable. It's plain unreliable. It doesn't hook very well. Even if it does, it doesn't actually clear the knife in a uniform manner every time, which means you will end up with the knife crooked in the sheath trying to pull it out, or like this with the point digging into the kydex and preventing you from pulling it out easily, and possibly compromising your grip. So this idea of the retention hook on the sheath is a nice one, but not a practical one in my opinion, which is the reason I replaced it with an ulti-clip right away. When it comes to the retention, it's absolutely excellent. The sheath is high quality, low profile, good retention, very well designed, and allows for mounting of an ulti-clip. So nothing to say about the sheath except that this concept here doesn't work. So the first thing I would do if I bought this knife would be to remove the pocket clip, as I did, and replace the carrying system with some sort of ulti-clip or tech-lock. Something else, the knife is actually delivered out of the box with these two carrying straps, which are supposed to permit a cross draw or scout carry or some sort of horizontal belt carry, which is a nifty concept but doesn't actually work. Again, and for one simple reason, this knife is actually a bit large for a horizontal carry. Unless you're a large and wide person with a wide belt and a wide belt waistline, this would stick out and give you the third leg effect, if you see what I mean. So I wouldn't actually carry this in a cross draw or cross horizontal carry. It doesn't work. For me, vertical carry with an ulti-clip in the pocket or in a waistband is fine and is the best application of this knife. So the reason I wanted to show you this knife is because I am actually getting rid of it, and there's a couple very good reasons for that. First is this weird sheath with this hook that doesn't need to be there. That could of course be removed quite easily. I could grind that off, no problem. But this hook bothers me. Second thing, this knife is actually a relatively bad tactical knife for someone who does know how to use a tactical knife. And what I mean by that is this knife is an EDC cutter that could serve in a pinch as a personal security knife. It wasn't designed, in my opinion, as a personal security knife first and an EDC cutter second, which means that this knife makes a couple sacrifices. And by that I mean this hook. This hook is a nifty concept. It does work, it does secure the grip a little bit, and it does allow for easier and faster and more positive drawing. But this hook could just as well have been a ring. And a ring, in my opinion, is vastly superior to a hook for grip retention and for easier drawing. Very much prefer a ring than this. Second thing, the blade is a bit short. The handle, compared to the blade, is not a very aesthetic ratio in my opinion, and the blade is a bit short for a tactical knife. Any kind of folding knife could have a much bigger blade and therefore having more capabilities. This, of course, is a fixed blade, which means it's more robust and faster to draw and more secure in the draw than a folding knife, of course, and that's the reason I prefer fixed blades. But still, this blade is a bit short. Again, the blade is firstly meant for EDC cutting and less for tactical applications. The point is a bit thin, and the profile doesn't actually encourage draw cuts and slicing cuts. It's more of a stabber, which is fine. I mean, 99.9% of applications would be stabbing anyway, so it's fine, but it's not ideal. And in our world, there are many more options that would satisfy me just a little bit more than this knife. Other thing, the handle as it comes out of the box with those very slim and very flat G10 grips is too thin even for my hands, and I do not actually have big hands. I wear medium gloves at most, and this handle is actually very, very uncomfortable when using it without some more padding and some more volume, which is the reason I added this grip. With the grip, it's usable, but still not very secure. As you can see, my hand almost makes the grip completely disappear, and I have to squeeze it quite hard to secure my grip. It's not a grip that fills the hand and makes it hard on itself, if you will, by filling the palm and the fist. It doesn't feel anything. You have to squeeze it to secure it, and I do not like that. I prefer to keep a relatively relaxed grip, as it relaxes the mind and the arm when it comes to martial manipulations. I prefer a more fitting grip. This grip is too thin, in my opinion. So that's the reason I'm separating myself from this knife. I do recognize its qualities. It's well made, the steel is good, the geometry is excellent, the handle is usable for very light EDC applications, and the sheath is fine, provided you modify it with an ulti-clip or some sort of carrying system of your choice. So all in all, this Civivi SOKN is a bit too much of a jack of all trades in my opinion. I would have preferred a more martial-oriented ring with a more slicey blade, maybe a slightly larger blade, and a more filling, positive grip. For martial applications, it's absolutely essential. That's my opinion on the Civivi SOKN. Too much goodies and superfluous stuff in the box, and too little of a drive to be a good tactical knife. I would actually, as a suggestion, prefer something like this. This is just a random Chinese AliExpress blade that I bought years and years and maybe 10 years ago. I couldn't tell you the model or the brand or what it's copied from. I'm sure it's a copy of something somewhere. If you know it, put it in the comments, please. But something like this, to me, is more makes more sense than a Civivi SOKN. As you can see, the blade is longer, and the handle is rounder and more thicker, which means it's more filling, and the ring provides a more secure grip. So something like this, in my opinion, would make a better EDC tactical knife than this Civivi SOKN. Thank you for watching. I hope this review gave you some information, gave you some food for thought, and I expect to see you in the next one. Please like, comment, subscribe, and thank you again for watching. Bye guys.